Welcome everyone to our webinar tonight. This is our Truman Middle School curriculum night. This is for current sixth grade and seventh grade families. So if you're an eighth grade family currently, you certainly don't need to be this. If you have another child that will be in the seventh or eighth grade next year, those are the students we're really students and families we're targeting tonight. I want to give myself an excuse right up front. I am homesick today, and I'm going to do my very best here at the very beginning of the presentation, and then I will be doing a lot of the answering of questions and things as well as they come up for you during the presentation. And I know my wonderful colleagues here will take over, and we'll be able to cover the material perfectly. So next slide, Tony. So I'm Dr. Mike Stratman. I'm the principal here at Truman Middle School. Obviously, many of you will know that. If you're a new family, welcome to the conversation today. I'm joined by Dr. Jenna Wright. She's the assistant principal. Jenna and I have worked together for quite some time. I think this is our 6th year of working together. And we know what each other do forward and backwards most of the time and can predict much of what our conversations, how they will go. So we do collaborate often on many things, tonight being no exception. Next slide, Tony. So the counselors currently, so these are counselors you should be currently working with. Mrs. Carolyn O'Daniel, she will be the 8th grade counselor next year. So all the current 7th grade families, she will be transitioning with you to 8th grade. And Mrs. Lindsay Marcus will be 7th grade counselor next year, currently is working with our 6th grade families. Next slide. So the purpose of our presentation tonight really is for you to better understand the components of the 7th and 8th grade schedule. As we go through the scheduling process every year, it really starts with students and kind of what students want out of their programming as well. You will learn more about the features of our program specifically. Some of it will definitely be different year to year. You'll also get some answers to your questions about scheduling for future 7th and 8th grade students. Next slide, please.
All right, I'll go ahead and jump in. As Dr. Stratman said, I am Dr. Jenna Wright. I currently work with our 6th and 7th grade classes as their grade level principal, and I will transition and loop with them just like Mrs. O'Daniel and Mrs. Marcus. So I will work with your kiddos again. Want to start by just talking about the types of courses that we offer here at Truman. I'll go through each of these 4 more specifically, but we have what's called core classes. We have advanced math classes, elective classes, and specialized classes. Tony, if you want to click to the next slide, please. First one is core classes. That's our English language arts. You might have heard that referred to as ELA, math, science, social studies, and health and fitness. Those first 4 ELA, math, science, and social studies are all on team, which means those 4 teachers collaborate regularly and teach the same about 115 kids. So they have time to really collaborate, see what works best for your student as a learner, and work together. Just so you know, moving to next year, teams are reassigned each year. So if your child is on 6th green, that does not mean they'll be on 7th green. What happens is when schedules come out in August, you'll see what team they are assigned to. And again, that happens randomly. If you want to click to the next slide, please. We do offer an advanced math class. That is our one really specialized program. It is not just a challenge class that goes more in depth or works harder. They actually skip a year of curriculum. So if you have a 6th grader right now who came in and started taking Math 7, that means that they completely skipped the 6th grade math curriculum in elementary school. They tested out of that and had some teacher recommendations, lots of data looked at to determine that, and they started in Math 7. If that is the track they are currently on, then they would remain in advanced math for 7th grade and they would go on to pre-algebra. If you have a 7th grader who's currently in pre-algebra, they would continue that advanced math track and actually take the high school credit course for algebra that does actually earn them high school credit for their high school experience. So it does, like I said, jump ahead. If your child is not currently on the advanced math track, but you feel like, wow, they're really getting 99, 100% in math 6, I don't know what's going on. If you just communicate with your child's either math teacher or grade level counselor and let us know, there are placement tests that we can always check and look at some NWEA data. We really want to make sure your kid is placed properly so that they can be challenged and also be successful. Next slide, please. This is going to be a biggie for this year. So in sixth grade, if you have a sixth grader currently, their elective classes are randomly assigned. Each student has 2 elective hours in the schedule. And for sixth grade, they can pick if they're taking a year-long class like band, orchestra, or choir, but otherwise it's randomly assigned. And so for 7th and 8th graders, it's a little bit different because they do get to have a little bit of say in what classes they take. They rank their courses. So want to make sure you as a parent understand what these different classes are so you can help have those conversations with your kid. So the first thing is year-long courses. That is the band, orchestra, and choir. If your child is continuing in one of those programs, that would stay as one of their slots out of the 2 every day for the whole year. In 7th and 8th grade, modern language courses become an option for students. In 7th grade, 1 full semester is a modern language if they choose to take one. And then for the 8th grade, they would have it all year. And that combined 1 semester in 7th grade and full year in 8th grade earns them a high school credit for that first level of the class. And we offer French, German, and Spanish. Students would select if they wanted to take those, they would pick which language they would like. So when counselors start talking about scheduling forms, that would be something that they would list on their scheduling forms, and that would become one of their slots. So again, 7th grade, it is 1 semester of the course every day for a semester. And in 8th grade, it is every day for the year. So if your child chooses, for instance, band and German for 8th grade, that would be their full, that would be everything that they took. Every other class is a quarterly class. Students would rank their preference on these, and those do slightly change every year. So we have just recently worked with our elective teachers to get that catalog going. So the course catalog will be shared with families for them to look at and with students to talk about. But Tony, if you would click to the next slide, please. These are our offerings for this year. So on the left-hand side of the screen, you'll see the 7th grade course offerings, and on the right-hand side, the 8th grade course offerings. These are all the different classes. Again, students will have the opportunity to rank what they prefer. There is a chance that they're not in their very first choice, but we try not to give them their very last choice. You know, it's trying to give them some voice in this. So 7th grade course offerings, you have musical theater performance. They actually work together and perform a musical throughout that 1 quarter. It's pretty fast, and they did a really great job this year. It was cool to see. We have music technology. We have design and modeling, which is what some of us may have had as shop back in the day. They'll actually build. We have the computer lab side, and then we have the dirty lab side. Be the Change is a course where you're doing a lot of read alouds by the teacher, and then you get to learn about making a difference and making positive choices in the world, kind of taking that perspective of different characters. Drawing and painting and sculpture are the 2 art classes. Pretty self-explanatory there. Facts exploration is family and consumer science. Students get to dabble with sewing and cooking in that class. Coding exploration is our Project Lead the Way class that is focused on technology usage. And then cultural awareness is for students who maybe aren't taking a modern language that semester, or maybe don't want to take one at all, but really still have a passion for the world. They dabble with language, culture, food, kind of learning about different regions. 8th grade course offerings, you can see they're on the right. Difference, instead of musical theater performance, they now write and perform a musical. So the students collaborate to write those. Music business, learning about how music can be used in careers. Ukulele, a unique opportunity to learn to play the ukulele. Engineering and robotics, again, is that Project Lead the Way kind of shop type of class where you plan and then you go ahead and build and create. Art options in 8th grade are studio art and then sculpture, meaning, and materials. Sewing and design, so a full quarter of just sewing. And then we have a facts investigation where you get to do some sewing and cooking. We have app creators, and then STEAM plus careers, where you're learning about different careers that tie to STEAM interests: science, technology, engineering, art, and math. Next slide, please, Tony. The next type of classes we have are specialized classes. So if you have a kiddo that has a specific need that we can address at school, we have what's called intervention classes. So this might provide a little supplemental instruction, small group specifically for students who have just a few gaps somewhere in either their reading, math, or organizational skills. So if students are a grade level or more behind in math and just need some support to fill in gaps on some of those basic facts, basic skills that maybe they missed out on from previous years, Math Lab could be a placement for them. Reading strategies for kids who are reading below grade level addresses those specific targeted needs that they have and helps them try to catch up on some of those reading skills. And then Academic Lab is type of organized study hall. It helps students with organizational skills and planning to try and help them be successful, balancing all of those different classes that we take, having a wider variety of teachers and things to balance throughout the day. Academic Lab is a support for students. And if you as a parent feel like your student needs it and maybe we haven't addressed it, you can let us know. We want to make sure they're getting that support. LEAP is for gifted students with the enrichment, extension, and curriculum exploration. LEAP you qualify into, so you probably already know if your kiddo's in LEAP, and that meets every other day. It actually alternates with health and fitness. So health and fitness is part of that core wheel, and it happens every single day. If students are in LEAP, they would go to health and fitness one day, then LEAP the next, and it would alternate. The other option is IEP and resource classes. These are offered to meet student learning needs as indicated in their IEP, individualized educational plan. Some of the IEP or resource classes will meet during elective opportunities. Some of them might meet during our flex time. And before we go on to schedules, I want to explain flex time and flyer time very quickly. So counselors in a moment are going to show you some sample schedules for every student, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. That 4th hour is going to continue to be flyer time. And what we do is we have some days that are flyer time that focus on community building, character education, service learning, that type of thing. And the other half of the time is spent in flex time, where it's really what students need. They can meet with teachers, they could retake assessments, they can work on homework. It's a time for them to kind of get caught up on things they need. And that's also a time those flex days might be when a student might get some services for their IEP as well. Tony, if you want to click to the next slide, the counselors are going to jump in and start to talk about our schedule.
Okay, thanks, Dr. Wright. So our schedule is going to remain the same for next year as it is this year with the modified block. So on Monday, Tuesday, and Friday, it's going to be the full schedule with all 8 periods. And then on Wednesday, it's going to remain the odd hour classes. And then Thursday is the even. So we're not changing anything up like for that for next year. And we're going to continue with that. Next slide, please. Here are some sample schedules for 7th grade and for 8th grade. Currently, the 6th graders, they're used to having their elective time during 3rd hour and 8th hour. And as you can see for next year, it looks like it's 7th grade is going to be 2nd hour and 7th hour. So that's going to be where they're going to fill in with those electives that you're going to be choosing. And then the core classes are just randomly assigned based on what's going to fit into your schedule. And then the 8th grade, if you look at that, the electives are 1st and 6th hour. So everybody's schedule will have their classes all randomly assigned unless it's something specialized that they need for a specific hour. Next slide.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Marcus. So just so you all are aware of our timeline, Mrs. Marcus and I are going to be pushing into the classrooms this week to go over the recommendation forms that your child will fill out, as well as answer any questions they may have. It will be a digital copy again of the school year. After we have gone into the classroom, students and their families will receive an email from Mrs. Marcus and myself, hopefully at the end of Friday, with the recommendation form attached. Just so everyone is aware, students have to be able to fill this form out themselves because it will only allow you to fill it out if you have a Lindbergh email address. So when you take a look at that form with your child, they will go ahead and rank their electives. And then we hope to have those forms completed and filled out by Friday, February 11th. Now, we also understand there's a snowstorm coming, so if we need to adjust that timeline at all, we will do so accordingly. Okay, next slide, thanks.
All right. I know as we were going through the presentation, some people were typing questions in, and Dr. Stratman is typing as fast as he can to answer them. But just wanted to kind of go ahead. There was one that asked specifically about how information would go to any students who are in quarantine. Anybody who will not be at school, we know of that. And so Mrs. O'Daniel and Ms. Marcus will reach out to those students individually so that they can go over that information. I know last year we had a couple kiddos, and the counselors would either Zoom with them or go through a phone call just to make sure that everyone got that information and you weren't filling out a form blind. We will also, in the email that goes out, it'll have a link to that course catalog so that families can read the full course descriptions and have all of that information. So I did want to answer that one out loud because I felt like that might apply to a few of us. So just in case.
I'm happy to answer this question regarding modern language for the high school. You have to have 2 years of modern language to graduate. Now, if you're looking at, a 4-year university, those requirements may be a little different.
And then I also see Dr. Stratman is typing an answer to this one as well, but I do want to just answer this one out loud because it comes up every year. Questions about how to request green or gold or request to be with friends or things like that. And just, we typically do not take those requests. We work really hard with current teachers to talk about best fit for student needs, to make sure that they're placed with teachers who will connect with them and work best with their learning style. So we tend to mostly randomly assign, but then also go in for kids and make sure that it's going to be a successful opportunity for them. If you really have some concerns and just feel like you want to make sure that we hear them, reaching out to myself or to Dr. Stratman, we definitely want to hear your concerns. We want to partner together and make sure your child's set up for success, but we really do work hard to make sure that that happens. Will 7th grade semester of modern language be second semester? Not always. We do have some sections of 7th grade modern language that happens first semester. In that case, I know that some people worry a little bit about a gap of a semester in between those classes, but we have opportunities for kids to kind of stay and brush up on things with different online resources that they can practice for second semester to make sure they are good to go for the next year. You can request that it be second semester, but depending on numbers, it just all depends on how many kids sign up. If we have too many sign up for one language, we want to try to get you in the language you would like. So we can't guarantee that everyone's language will be second semester, but we do try our best to fit in and again, make your child as successful as possible. We do not, somebody else asked, is there overlap between 6th and 7th grade core teachers, or do teachers instruct one grade exclusively? Essentially, will my child potentially get a repeat teacher? For core classes, they will not. For elective classes, for PE classes, for LEAP, for special school district, IEP type of classes, all of those classes, teachers teach 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. But core, math, science, social studies, and English, those teachers tend to stay in one grade level and only teach that grade. However, if somebody happened to, maybe a 6th grade teacher moves to 7th grade, your kid could potentially repeat, but typically that does not happen. And we realize that throughout this process, you're going to get questions, maybe when the form comes out or when your kid comes home after the presentation and is talking about it. We are here to answer those questions along the way. We want you to have the most positive, best experience that you possibly can. So the 4 of us on this call are kind of your go-tos. Myself, Ms. Marcus, and Mrs. O'Daniel will know your kid the best, just since we see them every day at lunch and in classes, team meetings. But like Dr. Stratman said at the beginning, he works so much, so closely with me and with the counselors as well. Any of us will be able to answer those questions. So just reach out to any of the 4 of us, and we are happy to support you and your student and make sure that our next year is a great one.
We also know that this presentation will not probably cover everything. And as Dr. Wright mentioned, please don't hesitate to reach out if you have questions. Additionally, we want to make sure that we get it right. And so as we go through this process, we'll be also sending this presentation out to all families in case someone missed it, or if you just want to review it. It gives you an opportunity to look through the presentation again. So all of those things will be available, as will we. If you come up with any other questions as you go through the process, your students can also ask questions. I would encourage them to do so. This is a really important time for them to learn to advocate for themselves and ask questions of clarification and kind of take part in that. We know not all students are at that place to be able to do that easily. So we certainly want to partner with you to find solutions for anything that comes up. And without any further questions, that concludes our presentation for tonight. It was short and sweet, we know that, but as you kind of view the presentation, let us know what we can do to help moving forward. Everyone have a great evening.